Welcome to another exciting discussion of the occult sciences from Dr. Thor, occultist extraordinaire. We're going to cover a very important topic here, which most people I don't think consider, which is, are you cursed? Now, cursing is extremely common, and one of the most common and critical problems that we run into when we check people's energy auras. And it's something that we recommend everybody can do, and we even have an inexpensive service we offer, a one question service. Which you can simply ask, am I cursed? And we do a psychic scan on you for that particular, and then you can go from there. But we find this is quite often a problem, and there seems to be this problem is continuing with a lot of people, and some people are very susceptible to it. For one reason or another, there are a lot of people that are actually cursed and continue to be cursed. They're somehow chosen for this problem. They somehow get involved with the wrong people and are hooked up to someone. Many times people even have curses that come from their past lives. So we've ran into that on a fairly frequent occurrences, that they're actually negativity carrying on, which is stuck in your what we call the soul force, which goes from life to life. And if this is not cleaned out, it actually follows you, unfortunately, but true. And there's a lot more people out there doing negative magic than you think there is, and cursing people for a price or for jealousy or for one reason or another. And as the world, particularly the United States, grows into this very Latin country, the amount of people practicing magic, particularly negative brujas, is going to be enormous. So a lot of people are going to have curses put on them as this continues. It's part and parcel of the Mexican culture, which is now the American culture, and their corruption, their horrible state of reality that they have lived in as a society will be transposed onto the United States as well. So there is a big change coming, particularly people who are living in that country who are listening to my voice now. But this is common in a lot of, particularly anyone who's from a Latin country in general, the Caribbean obviously, down south. It's very common to curse people. And these people who didn't stay in these areas, they're all over the country now. So you have voodoo practitioners and in general all over, the hoodoo people, all these people who tend to go on the dark side very easily are everywhere now, and it's a lot more popular than you think and very prevalent that people are being cursed. So you may have a particular curse on you, and curses can cause all sorts of problems. The difference between a curse and a cross condition is cross conditions are quite normal and happen in life anyway, and these have to be removed as well. And of course, this is all detailed in how to do that. We have courses on that. Our sorcery course talks about that, how it can be done. It's something that everybody should learn how to do, or you can have yourself uncrossed by us as well. But this, most of the time, crossing comes from negative things that happen in life, which some are your fault and some aren't, the people around you. So if you live in this vat of negativity, you're going to get crossed. It just depends how severe that is. Cross conditions can be very dangerous and can affect different areas of your life dramatically. People who are crossed in love never find relationship, crossed in money never make money, etc., etc. But this is different than when somebody actually puts what you could consider a giant cancerous ball in your aura, which is considered a curse. And what happens is that this cancerous negative ball everything that comes into your reality, which enters into your being, is then polluted and cursed and made to be ineffective, which forces you to compensate and work twice as hard to get results, or everything you do turns to shit, so to speak. So this is quite common. And there are people that seem to be being cursed by others who are either being paid or who are jealous, and these people tend not to stop. Now, cursed, or I should say cross conditions, once you remove them, generally don't build up to the same strength before, even though if you still act in a negative way, you're going to recross yourself, and this has to be released again. But it's a different level and it's a different state of toxicity compared to a giant, rotting, cancerous ball that's now stuck in you. So, these have to be removed, and they have to be, and you have to be protected. And unfortunately, as I said, the people that usually do these types of things don't stop. So if you have someone who's constantly cursing you, some satanic, some nasty prick who has it in for you, so to speak, and they will continue to curse you. And even once the curse is removed and you're protected, they usually come back at you again. And they try and do it even stronger now, because now they're pissed off because somebody has helped you or you are in a better position. I mean, we remove curses fairly frequently, and of course the curses then try and come back on us all the time. So they always try and attack us as well, which is part of doing rituals for people, is that they're going to come after you. But for one reason or another, sometimes it's family connected or not, jealousy. It's hard to really understand the motivation of this to some of these things, but the plain and simple fact is that these people are your enemies and they want to destroy you. And the people that do curses and even pay to have curses done is a large number of people. It's a big part of the general business of occultism, because everybody's got enemies and everybody wants to affect them. But these are very real energies, and depending on the person, depending on your situation, some people are very strong. They're able to fight through these curses. They're able to still get ahead and do things in life, but even with the curse in them, but things are much more difficult than they should, and no matter what they do, they still don't reach that potentially high level that they would have if that curse was removed. So it's very important to do that. It's also very important to find out what level of cross condition do you have. What percentage are you at? Now, fourth stage cross conditions are just as bad as cursing and are very toxic, or I should say almost as bad, and very toxic. They're easier to fix, but they're very toxic and very self-destructive, and this is a very serious place to be in where everything is going wrong. And then, of course, you get sicker and start seeing results like an advanced case of cursing. So it's important to know that as well. What percentage are you at? I mean, most people are in the anywhere from 30 to 40 to 50% cross condition, which is fairly average. If you're up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, you need serious uncrossing. In general, there is no level of curses. If you have a curse, it's a cancerous sore that's growing. If you don't remove it, it's going to cause you problems. And you can fight all you want. Ultimately, you will lose that battle. So, it's important to understand or to know if you are cursed. And the only way to do that is to have an occult science professional check that out. So, we highly recommend that you actually do that, because it is extremely common. And even when you get into all countries around the world, the more, even in the Western worlds, the Western world is loaded with people from other countries and traditions that commonly do this. I mean, England is loaded with with Africans and Haitians and people from a whole bunch of countries that do this as a normal procedure, and they have effects. And you're not going to stop it by going to church. It doesn't work that way. You need to have these energies taken out, and if you're a person who's being attacked all the time, you need an extended service, and secondly, you need to learn how to take care of yourself anyway. If you're a person who's susceptible to something, or let's say you're allergic to peanuts, well, you're going to stop eating peanuts. It has nothing to do with someone else coming in there and saving you because you've eaten peanuts and almost died. You got to stop doing that. And don't be around them. You need to educate yourself to take care of yourself. But if you're a person who's constantly had this, or you have it from past lives, these are situations that you need to work on, have worked on by professionals, and you need to pick up the ball yourself. And there's simple ways of doing protections and uncrossings at home that will keep you in good stay. Just as if you were taking vitamins or exercising or eating right. So you take care of your energy bodies as well. And these procedures are pretty easy to do and follow in your life in general without having to go into extreme occultism as some people think you have. You know, all these modified revolutionary new systems that we're coming out with work in your life easily and effectively, and they can blend in. And this is the key to getting success. Most people are not going to turn into some giant movie land occultist wearing robes and having giant altars and having hundreds of candles going. The point is, there are ways of doing these things, modifying, using occult power tools and other things that make the whole process very easy and make your life very easy and very painless. Or you can go through life and suffer constantly because of the fact that you don't take care of these energy needs. It just is no reason not to. When you have a resource such as the Guild here to assist you every step of the way, and not to just assist you in some sort of product or service, but assist you with the rest of your life, basically for free. So you get this mentorship for the rest of your life. It's all part of our service, and we are here, and we will walk you through it, and your life will dramatically change. Now, in general, these curses are very, very serious. And one of the sad facts of curses is that curses can be removed, but as I said, people will attack you again. It's just standard procedure with a lot of people. Some reason they are targeting you and will continue to target. And these can be stopped. One of the problems with removing curses, which people don't understand, is that they think, and if you thought about this, you probably would understand it, which is the reason why we tell people, and that is the fact is that once you have something removed, everything in your life doesn't change to perfect. All the problems that curse caused are still there. The difference is the new causes, new problems will not happen, and the old problems will now be able to be fixed. And if you think about that, wow, that's fantastic. But what most people think is, wow, I'm still got all the old things. The curse was never removed. Well, that is not how things work in life. There's a healing process. If you get very sick, you just don't take something and the next day you feel better and everything is solved. It takes time to get well again. And if you, let's say you were very sick and you were out of work for 3 months, that work that you didn't do is still sitting there. You're going to have to go back and do that work. It didn't disappear. And any other problems that may have caused, if you were unable to do something because that's not going to disappear. If you weren't able to fulfill a certain contractual need or something you needed to do in general to maintain something, the result from you being cursed or sick at that time is going to still be there until you fix that again. So this is one of the major problems, is the aftermath, is once you get somebody back on the track and you remove the curse and you protect them, there's a healing process. Your aura has to heal. This takes months and even years in some cases of having to do consistent work. And knowing and having the technology to do it, which is critical as well, which we provide you. But the old problems that the curse caused are still going to be there. So while people will look at you different and problems can be solved, old problems and old created problems are still be there. And that's the sad part of it all, and that's going to have to be worked through. And, people have curses on them for 10, 20, 30 years, some for hundreds of years in past lives, even thousands of years. And you're not going to go in. And, of course, people think, well, it's magic. Yeah, it should just happen. You just do it and everything's perfect. Well, that would be a nice reality to live in. And it is something, of course, that we as occult science researchers are looking at constantly trying to manifest. Of how can you manifest things into perfect situations as fast as possible? The reality is that it's just not like that. Nothing, people and problems from the past are not going to disappear because you stop generating energies that are feeding them and making them worse. What's going to happen is that they'll slowly dissipate, and slowly the new things that do manifest will be positive, and your life will start. But it's very common for people to have curses on them for 5, 10 years. They come to people like the Guild because they are in such serious trouble and looking for miracles. And many times we pull these miracles off, but the bottom line is that you're not going to change your life entirely around by just removing the curse. What happens is the opportunity to fix your life is now available to you, which if you have a curse, your life will never be fixed. Now, again, verbally that sounds and makes sense, but when people get involved in it and they get a curse removed and life isn't perfect, they're discouraged. They think that it hasn't been removed. Well, it has been removed. You're not going to run into new problems as you did in the past, and you're going to be able to fix the past problems. But that's the question here is, or the problem here is that you have to fix. You're going to be able to. These are all things you have to do, not that are just going to realign themselves. Of course, if your luck is better, you're going to get more opportunities. You're going to go to places you never went before because of the curse was stopping you. And this will, in general, have major improvements in your life. But the problem is that it will take time. And particularly people that are crossed or cursed for many, many years. And that's pretty much the average person. People don't find where they need to be found help or how to do things that are legitimate. I mean, some people may get some ripped off piece of garbage from eBay with a spirit in it. It's going to be astral sex. Yeah, you're going to be screwed on up on Incubus for $75, or some of these which are thousands of dollars. And you're going to get all these miracle cures from frauds that are laundering money through them. So, all in all, it's going to take time. And there has to be some personal responsibility. Now, if you want to have people constantly doing crossings and protections for it, we have monthly services that offer that because we understand that people cannot handle this, don't know how to do it, and they need this help dramatically. So you can have cursings and so forth removed and have uncrossings done, but that is not the end of it. It doesn't mean you're perfectly healed forever. As we've stated, you're going to probably be attacked again. If you're a crossed person, seriously crossed, you're probably going to start recrossing yourself because negative attitudes are just not cured again. You're going to go down some of your old paths, and you're going to need these constant energies and do things in your life which are not difficult or complicated to take care of this situation. And this is where having a service done can be very perfect for the average person because they don't have to do too much. You still have to do some things, but you don't have to do too much. So it makes it very easy for a person. But ultimately, you should learn how to do these things yourself and be doing certain energy practices just as you eat right, and you exercise. All the things everybody hates to do. But we all do that to some extent, even if we tend to eat too much junk or not exercise enough. We all try and do that. And you have to do the same thing with your energy bodies. You have to maintain your energy bodies and protect them. So it's quite fascinating that all these aspects of life and make things very complicated. And it could be the fact that some of these curses were put on your relatives that are affecting you. It's not uncommon for someone to be angry, let's say, at your parents or grandparents, and they curse you. They curse the family. I mean, this is quite common. It's not just in Latin families. It's very common in all aspects. Eastern Europeans are big into this. The Russians, you move through Italy and Spain. These are all people that have witchcraft traditions that go back thousands and thousands of years and are very common. The Turks, Islamic people in general, have all these things as well, even though it's very underground there. But you see places like Turkey, and they have constant magical charms to stop the evil eye. And you're supposed to wear this eye to counter the evil eye. And these are very, very common and things that are all over Turkey in general. So the point is, this isn't just in one particular area or one particular culture. And there's all sorts of this going on at every level in every culture. So it's very easy to get cursed. It's very easy and guaranteed that everybody is crossed to some degree. And these can have radical effects on your life. So if things aren't going well in your life, if you're even doing magical practices and they're still not going well, you need to have this, because a lot of people do things and try metaphysical and magical practices, and they don't understand why they don't work very well. Well, it could be the fact that you're horribly blocked. And if you have a curse, your magic will not work well at all, if at all. The same thing if you're strongly crossed. If you have a high degree of being crossed and have all this negativity around you, and you're trying to overcome the negativity with positivity by projecting energy out, generally that doesn't work very well. To a large extent, it's like pouring white paint into black. You're never going to take that black paint and make it white. It just will never happen. So you have to remove that negative black energy and replace that with positive energies. Not try and use the positive energies to overcome these problems that are constantly being generated. So that's very important to know, and the reason why so many people have so many problems in their life, and it's one of the major reasons why people seem to have failures doing the occult science practices, is because there's blockages there. So one thing a curse does, in particular, as well as a strong cross condition, is that it goes in and it jails, it confines and restricts and ultimately blocks entirely the inner magical being from operating in your life, which is the whole thing that you need to do to activate. And when the inner magical being is activated, it stops all the problems in your life and draws in all the necessary occult energies to solve everything. And this is what you need to do. But you can't do that if you're highly crossed. And if you can't do that, in particular, if you have a curse, and curse being this horrible black cancerous, slimy, growing, infesting virus that is stuck in your aura, polluting and stopping you, is going to seriously destroy your life. Ultimately, entirely, but in direct manifestations is that all these energies go to the weakest part of your consciousness or manifestations first. So you may be a person who does very well in business, and you've always had some problems with relationships. Well, the curse is going to make that relationship problems into a horrible situation. And it could be vice versa. You have basically good relationships, but you can't make any money. Well, the curse is going to make sure that you have problems manifesting wealth of any kind and success. That's how it works. This compounded with being a cross condition means your life sucks and will never get better until you change the energy fields. Plain and simple. And the responsibility falls on you ultimately to learn how to take care of your energy bodies, how to keep them clean and positive. And this can be done in a minimal amount of time with a minimal amount of tools to take care of this area of your life. People invest thousands in fancy exercise machines, thousands in supplements. Some people spend thousands a month in supplements. People get human growth hormones for $800, $1,000 a month that you can buy easily by supplements that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. You'd be better off investing on your energy bodies, clearing them out, and you'll find that all those other areas, including health, well-being, mental states, are all so much better. So it's a personal responsibility for you in your life to take care of those important issues. So that requires training and having certain tools and working with people to assist you to find out what are you, do you have a curse, are you crossed, and to what level. Everybody's crossed. Not everybody has curses, but everybody's crossed. And this crossed element can be minor or can be extreme. And you need to find that out. As I said, we do offer inexpensive readings for that. And ultimately, that's just step one now. You need to take care of this, and you need to take care of this for the rest of your life. So with that, there is only one reality, and that's the reality that the occult scientist creates. Question everything, believe nothing, and let the guild be your guide.